speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. You have just tuned in to Where is the Love? I am your host. I am Stephanie Hockenhall. Joining me is my son, my co-host, Gene Williams.
Peace and love, beautiful people. What it do, what it do, what it
He
do.
said, peace and love. Y'all got peace, peace.
Peace,
And hair
love,
grease.
peace, love. Yeah, hey, right on, right on. Solid on down, you drive time turkey.
Yeah, I'm
Solid
sorry.
on down.
My background ain't ready. Um, So, thank you for joining us again. If you have just tuned in, you have tuned in to Where is the Love, where we talk about bullying and where we talk about gaslighting. We've talked about so many things connected to bullying and control, um, and disrespect and ill treatment. Um, and so, we've been talking about gaslighting for a couple months already. We started in January. And so, if you are watching us, you could be watching us on our YouTube channels, Love Misunderstood Institute or Premier Fitness 0210. You may also be watching us live on Facebook on my um, personal channel, Stephanie Terrell Hockenhall, or you could be watching on Love Misunderstood Institute, our business page. You can also be watching on LinkedIn. Guess what? We're on TV. We're on Roku and Amazon
Oh, yeah.
Fire right now only while we're doing
Hey,
this show. So the rest of those places that I told you to look or that you can watch us, you can go to those places anytime and the shows will still be there. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Son, you want to say anything before you recap last week's show?
man. So, just one of the things that I've, we talk about this all the time: interpersonal relationships and dealings with people. Um, unfortunately, gaslighting and things of that nature, are like part of how we interact with people. You deal with people who often, in multiple parts of our lives, uh, deal with, people who may manipulate and, try to control or, create narratives and things of that nature. I mean, again, dealing with, you know, politics and just interpersonal relationships. It's
Yes,
always something. It's like we have to be hyper aware of our surroundings uh, in dealing with people.
yes,
Because man, like you be wanting to just interact, straightforward, but it's like you kind of gotta watch out for, okay, well, cool, is that? I mean, oh, okay, so you know what I mean? Like everything, you have to, like the world makes you have to overanalyze everything,
yes,
you
absolutely.
know, keeps you on your toes, and gaslighting is a great like it is a major reason why manipulation, narcissistic uh, feed, people trying to manipulate and control you, you know, switch narratives to fit them, even though, man, like you know what happened, but
Yes,
you want to tell this story because it
right,
it exonerates you, but no, we know the facts.
right.
And how can people like one thing that's mad like curious to me is how can a person like lie to themselves so much so that they begin to believe the lie.
Yeah,
You know, that's the scary thing. And then
it
you
is
push
scary.
that, yeah, and then you push that lie that you fed yourself over and over again. You push that outwardly onto other people.
Right.
You know, like it's just it's
And get upset when they don't believe their own,
right,
when they don't believe your lie. Well, because
right,
I know that's not what happened.
right,
Well,
like
why are you believing that mess?
right. Right,
Really? You
right.
trying to
You can,
bring me down to your level? Nah, I don't
right,
want to go.
right. Yeah, I'm good. I don't. Nah, I'm good. Now, now they say it's hot. You know, they say it's cooler down. I'm trying to stay warm up here. I'm
Right.
good. I'm good. Y'all enjoy that down there. You know, now, I'm good. I don't want it. I don't know. Stop it. Stop
You
it,
so
people.
funny.
Stop it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Oh my
Stop it.
goodness.
Just stop dogging me around. Listen. Shoot.
You a mess. I'm trying to make sure all of our channels
Got you.
are operable. Mark said not the vampire cross.
Hey, you gotta keep them energy vampires away from you. Keep the cross on you, keep the cross of the ankh on you. Keep it on you at all times. Protect yourself. The echo is back. The echo.
Well, go ahead and introduce the show, though. Yeah, I can hear it. So the only thing, hopefully, it doesn't get too bad. If it does, then you'll have to take off your
Right,
earplugs.
right, for sure. Alrighty, so we are on episode 107. Wow,
Yep,
that is nuts. So
yep.
on
We've
episode
been
number
working.
106, what you said. Uh, on episode 106, we talked about your journey to empowerment starts with confronting manipulation and embracing your truth. Some subjects that we touched or will touch upon are cultural and societal gaslighting, gaslighting in digital spaces, gaslighting in family dynamics, emotional gaslighting in relationships, gaslighting in the workplace, and the neuroscience of gaslighting. So on last
Yeah.
week's show, huh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
okay. On last week's show, we did not give you examples for the types of gaslighting, but although we've already discussed the following, we want to give you more examples of each. So in order to hear the details of the types, you'll have to go back to the last episode. You know, what I mean, go back to the back. You know, the last one before this one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I'm gonna read it out to you, give you a little taste of it, little taste. All right. So,
I'm
first
still.
example. I'm sorry. What are you saying?
I'm sorry. I'm still setting some stuff up. So go ahead and keep
Hey,
going.
I got it, man. I got it, man. Let me do my thing, okay? Now, come on,
Do
now we
you?
good. We good. We good now. We good now. We good now. All right. So,
Lord help him.
what?
Nothing. Do you, boo?
Do you, boo booski? Okay. All right. So the first example is cultural and societal gaslighting. So, for example, historically, marginalized communities have been told their experiences with racism, sexism, or discrimination are exaggerated or non-existent. For instance, women who spoke out about workplace harassment before the Me Too movement were often dismissed as too sensitive or misinterpreting situations. It's funny that you got that there. And that's funny that you got that Me Too stuff there. Um, yeah, like,
Say what you want to say. Add to what you want to add to it.
yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, so like for me, I always am an advocate for women speaking out, about uh, you know, harassment, abuse of any sort, you know, uh, like you're supposed to, and we should advocate for you know, those women who are truly, who have truly been victimized.
Right.
Uh, you know, but what's disturbing with this Me Too movement is that people there's always going to be. those the major contrast, the polarization.
Mm-hmm.
You have those who actually experienced um, abuse and manipulation and all of those things, and you have to honor those stories. And then there are those people, and we see this now in certain situations that are constantly on every freaking uh, news outlet or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
where people create, well, people have created narratives, just to get over on something. So it's like you're willing to destroy other people,
Right.
um, just to get something. Like that's majorly disturbing.
Yes.
Like you you tell a lie that could,
Destroy
you know,
somebody's life.
this yeah, destroy someone's life, their reputation, their financial income, like and like people get blackballed for things like this, and it's like so we like be honest. Why would
Yep.
we create narratives uh just to get power? Like what is that? Power is fleeting. You you'll never you'll never always be at the top of the mountain.
Right.
You had to be at the bottom at one point. You had to be in the middle climbing up. And then once you get tired of being at the top of the mountain, sometimes you have to calm down. So there's, just I, I don't know. Some people sometimes just really, you know, I just be like, really? That's what we're doing right now. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Some
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mom.
some people do that to get attention too,
Oh yeah.
to draw
Yeah,
attention to themselves.
right. Right. Yeah, and very true because again, attention is power. Anything that you put your attention on, you give it power.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like we have to be, uh, very efficient in guarding our minds.
Yeah.
You know, uh, watch what you watch because it's like the saying, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on the terms of attention, you are what you constantly think about or pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And then society allows certain things. It's cool. Like I love, and I hate to have to keep bringing this thing up because I don't know a lot about it, and I really just don't care. But I hear about it all the time. This situation with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
she, from my understanding of the situation, because again I truly do not care. Um, but she's created a false narrative that is like cost this dude, you know, millions of dollars, you know, and because it seems as if, from my understanding, again, from the outside looking in, is that they're wanted to take over the film production, and because they couldn't get him to just bow down and allow it to happen, now they're gonna crap on his name and make him out to be a sexual predator, you
Yeah.
know. And you already know why, uh, like why that is upsetting. Just that very term. Like so now I've violated you now. You
Yeah.
you created a situation where now you're trying to make me out to be a monster,
Yeah.
you know. And that hurts. It really
Yeah.
does. It really hurts when a person creates a narrative that they know is not true
Right.
to make you out to be a monster.
Yep. I agree.
So
I agree. Totally agree.
and so going back to the Me Too situation, I'll hop off and so we can move to the next thing. But like for me, with the Me Too situation, the Me Too movement, make it factual. Let's not, use the attention that women are, men, women, whatever, are getting for expressing themselves as it pertains to true abuse, but don't create a narrative um, to push a point that you know is false.
Right.
Like let's be honest. Let's be forthcoming. Deep down, good people, and treat others like we want. We wouldn't want anyone,
Get,
besmirching our reputation and our image, just to get go forward. Like that's the
right.
crabs in the barrel mentality. I
Yeah.
got to pull you down so I can go up. Like Cowards move like that. That's
Yep.
how cowards move. Um, and so, yeah, just be forthcoming, people. And if you actually deal with a situation of abuse or, I mean, manipulation, or you're not getting your worth, then yeah, speak up on it. Always speak up on it, but make it real.
Right.
Be honest. Like, don't create a narrative or situation and then cry wolf.
Right. That's
Like,
exactly what I was thinking.
yeah,
The little boy who cried wolf.
right,
Then
exactly,
when you
right,
really need help, you won't have it because you lied too
exactly,
many times.
exactly. Now people don't believe you because your reputation has shown you to be a liar,
Yeah.
and people don't think about that.
Right.
Anyway, on to the next one. That was me then. Um, all right, so number two, gaslighting in digital spaces. For example, social media influencers or political figures spreading misinformation and then denying they ever said certain things, despite clear video or tweet evidence. A common case is deep fake technology being used to alter narratives and make people question what is real. Man, that is that is a loaded one right there. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
don't spend too much time on that because I want to make sure we finish
got you. Okay,
these
yeah,
others.
I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Because
All I gotta say is, yeah,
today is going to be the last time we plan to um, talk
talk about
about
gas
gaslighting. So we're giving you some examples.
for
He's
sure.
giving you examples. He tells you what kind of gaslighting it is, and then he's giving you examples, and then we have more to share like that. So go ahead.
For sure. All right, so number three, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Gaslighting in family dynamics. For example, a parent constantly telling their child they are too dramatic or imagining things when they express emotional distress about family conflicts or past trauma. Another is when siblings manipulate one another by rewriting past events to shift blame.
Yeah, that's
No,
horrible. Keep
right.
going.
Number four is emotional gaslighting in relationships. An example is a partner frequently denies saying hurtful things, even when there are messages proving otherwise. For example, one person repeatedly tells the significant other, "You're just crazy. I never said that," making them doubt their memory and perception.
Oh, we
Yeah,
keep
and that,
going.
that's yeah, that's a base one right there. That's a base one. That's easy. They do that all the time. Anyway,
Yep.
sorry. Number five is the, but you know what? Never mind. I got messages right here though. You do realize that I have receipts, and when they make you, that's the crazy thing. Crazy making when they make you question the receipts that you have. You got it, and it's time stamped.
Yeah.
You see it right in front of your face, and you still like they done. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
you see it in front of your face, and you still like confused. Did that really happen? Did I make that up, bruh? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Anyway, oh my god. All right. So I'm gonna move on to the next thing because wow, yeah, that one took me there. All right. So gaslighting in the workplace. For example, a boss consistently downplays an employee's concerns about being overworked, saying everyone else is fine. Maybe you just maybe you're just not cut out for this. The employee begins to doubt their ability rather than recognizing the unrealistic workload. Listen to your employees, man. If he says this is too much, maybe you need to spread it out.
Yeah.
Spread it out. Anyway, all right. So number six is the neuroscience of gaslighting. Studies show that repeated gaslighting can rewire the brain's stress response, making victims more prone to self-doubt and anxiety. This siren here. This is seen in abusive relationships where long-term gaslighting leads to learned helplessness. Ugh. Where a person stops trusting their own decision. All right, so those are examples of what we talked about on the last show. If you want more details, player, go back to the last show. Okay.
Episode
Oh,
106, because
that's
this is
tough.
107.
Yes. Wow.
So now I'm going to share some. And we're not spending a whole lot of time um, sharing. We are going to share some, but we always like to give examples, from our own life. And even if we do share, examples from our own lives, and if we don't get it all out, you can always reach out to me, and I can get information to you to help you understand more about gaslighting. So, number 7. So we've already shared more types of gaslighting with examples, education points, explanations, tips for education, and activities to help you navigate through the specific type of gaslighting. So the next type of gaslighting is intersection of gaslighting and trauma. Re-traumatization, gaslighting often exacerbates existing trauma, compounding feelings of helplessness and invalidation. So here's an example. A survivor of childhood abuse enters a relationship where their new partner tells them, your past wasn't that bad, or you're just making excuses for your problems. This
Mm,
deepens their trauma by reinforcing feelings of helplessness and invalidation. And here's the education point. Teach trauma informed approaches to recognizing and addressing gaslighting. An explanation. Gaslighting often amplifies the effects of prior trauma by reinforcing feelings of helplessness. And then here's a few tips for education. Discuss how gaslighting can re-trigger trauma responses such as hypervigilance or avoidance. Promote trauma informed practices for self care and support, and encourage finding safe spaces such as therapy or support groups to share experiences. And so here's an activity that you can do for that. You can guide people through journaling exercises to process emotions and affirm their reality. Because what happened is real, even if it's from your past, and whatever it was you were downplayed for expressing your emotions, um, like what I just shared. And then you go into another relationship and they do the same thing, or you tell them how much something hurt you and they act like it was nothing. So they're re traumatizing you again with that
right.
same thing. And so
Hmm.
so what I just gave you are some examples. So you want to do the next one and then we can just switch off.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. All right, so gaslighting in media and pop culture. Representation. So depictions of gaslighting in movies, TV, or books. For example, the film Gaslight, which is where that term came from, actually, where the term originated. Um, so in the movie Gaslight, 1944, the husband manipulates his wife into believing she is losing her sanity by dimming the gas lights and then denying it. A
Yeah.
modern example is Big Little Lies, where Perry gaslights Celeste about the abuse she endures. Um, there's actually a all black cast who has a film called Gaslight. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it. I think it's on like Tubi or something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
this is a thing. um,
Mm.
so the education point, we use media examples to spark discussions on how gaslighting manifests and how to counter it. An explanation. Media often portrays gaslighting in ways that can either educate or perpetuate stereotypes. So, some tips for education: use examples from movies. Again, the example is Gaslight, or shows to analyze how manipulation unfolds. Excuse me. We'll discuss how representation can influence public understanding of gaslighting. And third, highlight positive depictions of overcoming manipulation. That's important. That's important right there. An activity is host a group discussion on a movie scene that depicts gaslighting. Excuse me, identifying tactics and responses.
Okay, so the next one is the role of bystanders. Um, so there are what is called silent enablers, and this is people who witness gaslighting but fail to intervene or validate the victim. Um, an example is a group of coworkers witnesses their boss repeatedly shifting blame onto an employee, but instead of speaking up, they ignore it or even nod in agreement, reinforcing the gaslighting. Conversely, an empowered ally might say, actually, I remember them completing that task on time. So then you're
Right.
stepping up, you are um, speaking
Validating.
up for that person, and
Right.
not just standing there, not saying anything, which would mean, you could mean you agree. And so
Right.
here's some tips for education: increase awareness of the impact of silence. Educate on how silence or passive agreement reinforces gaslighting and deepens the victim's self doubt.
Right.
And so I'm not going to read that part. I'll skip. So here's something you can do. You can reflect on your emotions, um, felt, have an exercise, and you're practicing both passive and active responses, and then discuss how how each approach impacts the situation. So then you want to reflect on emotions felt during the exercise, challenge have challenges of speaking up, and then how to implement these techniques in real life. So those are just a few things that you can do. So I'll just let you do the next one.
Okay.
You want to add
Right.
anything to that?
Um,
You don't have to. You can
no.
go ahead to the next one.
All right. So, gaslighting recovery process. So, first, we would educate on how bystanders can support victims by affirming their reality and offering practical help. An explanation. Bystanders play a crucial role in either enabling or stopping gaslighting. If you see something, do something, say something.
Yep.
Tips for education: teach people to validate victims' experiences without judgment. Encourage speaking up when witnessing manipulative behavior. Provide scripts for intervening in gaslighting situations safely. So, an activity that you can do: practice bystander intervention techniques in small groups, focusing focusing on empathy and assertiveness. So when you see, like I said, again, when you see something, say something. You see
Yep.
somebody being, pushed around. Hey, that's not cool. And actually, this is what happened.
Yep.
Be bold.
And
Know you're powerful.
yep. And so that's very important, because sometimes the person that's being gaslit or bullied, they don't always have the courage to speak up for themselves. So it's important when you are able to, and you can, and you have the courage, to speak up for somebody and to help them, because, they go away, hurting, and some people end up hurting themselves or contemplating, hurting themselves or hurting other
Suicide,
people.
homicide. Yeah.
Yet, because they don't have the strength or, again, the courage to speak up for themselves. So that's when we play a part. If we have the courage, hey, that's not cool. You know,
Right.
it don't have to be anything long and drawn out, but just getting their attention. No, I don't agree with what you're doing, and it's not okay. So the next one is, did you just do that one? You did, didn't you?
Yes. You talking about 10
Yeah.
recovery? Yep.
No,
Did
you
I
didn't do 10.
finish?
You did 9.
9. Okay.
Um,
Yes,
So,
correct.
gaslight recovery process. A person who has been gaslit in a relationship journals their experiences and slowly starts recognizing patterns. So, you're in recovery. So they join a support group where others validate their emotions, helping them rebuild their self trust and confidence. So here's some steps to healing: rebuilding trust in oneself through therapy or support groups. That's why support groups are good. And the journaling experiences to solidify personal truths, to
Right,
help you realize, hey, I ain't crazy. I ain't losing my mind, even though that's what they're
right,
trying to make me think. That's not what's happening.
right.
And then I was just talking about courage and how to build yourself up. So practice self affirmations and self care. That's
Yep,
very important. It it increases your courage and helps you to be able to say what you need to say to get people to back off of you.
right.
You want to add something before I go to the education point?
Yeah, for sure. Like, and also practicing self-care, like, is a an action, uh, an action showing yourself that you are worthy of
Hmm.
being, put in the forefront, taken
Yeah,
care of. Like the saying goes, you can't give from an empty vessel, so you have to give to yourself first. So
yeah,
yeah, self-care is like the ultimate self-love. Spending time just to do, even if it's just something you do for 10 minutes.
yeah,
10 minutes. It's just to show that I am worthy of love and attention and being put, and at the forefront of my life,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think that's important. And self-affirmation, like you've seen it, but we have affirmations all over the walls in certain rooms that we frequent. And it's just like, you wake up and you see those things and it reminds you, okay, this is, it's an encouragement for yourself,
yeah,
and we need that. It's important to constantly feed yourself positive energy because what you consume, you become. So
yeah,
if you consume like intellectually, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, something that is feeding you and building you up, then you become a better version of yourself. But if you're feeding yourself to something negative, then it makes sense that you're rotting inside. You know,
yeah.
so you become what you consume.
That's good. Thank you. So here's an education point. Recovery is a journey that involves reclaiming autonomy, confidence, and emotional balance, which is what Jean just shared. And so healing involves rebuilding trust in oneself and regaining emotional balance. And then here's some tips for education. Emphasize the importance of self-compassion. Self-compassion is important, and patience in recovery. So you can teach people techniques for affirming one's perception, such as positive talk, and provide
Self-talk.
resources for professional support, as such as counseling or therapy. Those things are important to help you recover, because the support that you have, whether it's a support group or a person or people, um, or a therapist or some kind of counseling, those things are very helpful. And they may have some things to give you, other things to think about that you may not have thought about. So those are reasons why they're important. And
Yeah,
then create a personal affirmation journal to reinforce your truths and strengths, and that
right.
helps. That will help you.
Yeah. I wanted to say something real quick. Uh, so one thing that you just touched on is like teach techniques for affirming one's perceptions, such as positive self-talk. In that piece, we've talked about how much like positive self-talk is so important because we are constantly telling ourselves a certain thing, and if it's something negative, then you begin to create a reality and a gravitational pull towards yourself of that negative thing that you keep saying to yourself. If you
Yep.
keep saying that I'm not intelligent, that you experience things that reaffirm
Yeah.
that thing. But if you're on the opposite side, I'm very intelligent, and I see everything clearly, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then life creates situations where your life experience affirms that. So it's very important to keep your self-talk where it builds you up as opposed to tearing you down. It's okay to have the inner critic, but it's like you gotta deal with the criticism, but you also criticize with love.
Yep.
And that pertains to yourself first.
Yep. Mark, thanks for flashing buildingbridgeskc.org. What you see there is that um, organization is a group of therapists and a group of mental health coaches that work with people to help them with their mental health. And so you can go there to that website and check it out. There is a charge for that. And then also, if you don't have anyone that you feel like you can talk to or trust, and you don't have finances, you can, thank you, Mark, you can call 988. And that is just between you and the person that you're talking to. So, Mark, also, if you would put our website across the bottom, I would appreciate that too. I put that in the chat. So those are some resources that you can reach out to get some help. Um, and then when Mark puts ours on there, so Love Misunderstood Institute.org. We talk about bullying. We have personal one-on-one conversations with you about the bullying, the trauma, the gaslighting, whatever it is you're experiencing. And then there's coaching. Um,
Hmm.
and then Jean does,
Meditation, pranayama, things that help you tune into, your own personal power by focusing on just being clear.
yeah,
Meditation is a major part of just focusing your energy, listening to your thoughts, realizing, first off who you are,
yeah,
and then and realizing that these are the thoughts that are in your head constantly. You can change the inner dialogue. That's majorly important. You know, you are who you tell yourself you are over and over again. So
yeah,
we have to be clear on what we're saying at first, and then change the narrative if it's not something that's building us up. So that's
right,
majorly important. So yes, yoga instructor, meditation instructor, also pranayama, which means uh, the control over restraint of the breath to do certain things. Like we are simultaneously multi-dimensional, multi-leveled beings. We are
yeah,
spirit, we are soul, we are body, we are mind, all of those things, and then we're none of them at the same time. Um, but to tune into that depth of who we are as beings, it's important to know that your breath, like the first breath that you breathe when you come out of your mom's womb, is very important, and the last one. So every breath in between is majorly important. You have to, not only focus on your breathing, but be in tune uh, with growth and the fact that you need breath to breathe to live. Um, man,
yeah.
uh,
So what I almost said, and I had to stop because Gene don't know he's this yet.
I don't know. I don't know what
Excuse me.
what I don't know. What
So
I don't know.
Gene actually does coaching services with the
Wait
stuff
a
that he
minute.
just said.
Well, I do. I mean, I do.
So so that's not something that he's been doing, but that is something that he's about to start. I'm just
Lord,
prophesying
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Time out. Time out, player. Time out, player. I'm life
it.
coaching now. I'm life coaching.
because because that breathing and
Yeah.
journaling and all of those things that you do are
Yeah.
things that you have to share with others. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's coaching. Man, I
Okay.
don't even know how to breathe through this mess. Help me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you about
That is
to
important.
go into something you hadn't even thought about. So
Wow.
there you go.
Mother, mother.
So I haven't been trained or certified to do breathing. I know how to
Yeah.
do it, but I'm not certified. I can't give you the
Right.
details of the breaths like you can. So um,
Yeah.
Jean, you can reach out to us through, wherever you're watching from. Just reach out to us, and then we'll get in touch with you and give you what you need. So, Love Misunderstood Institute for bullying coaching, trauma coaching, and forgiveness coaching. We do it all. So anyway, we're gonna move forward so we
We
can
really
get
do.
the rest of this gaslighting done.
For
Mark
sure.
said, "I just ambushed you."
You're gonna get everything. We're gonna get everything. It's a one-stop shop. We got
That's
everything
right.
for you from top to bottom. Come on now. All right. One call, you can get it all.
That's right.
All right. So number 11 is gaslighting versus
What
honest
is?
conflict.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mark said, "Wonder if Gene does Krav Magna." You know what that is?
Krav Maga.
Oh, I guess that's what it is. I don't.
Yeah. I've never done Krav Maga, but I do Muay Thai and boxing and grappling and a little bit of jujitsu. Um, you know, I know how to get them things going. You know what I mean? But oh, you didn't see that coming, did you? That one for the skull. Oh, the ball is broken. Sorry. Anyway,
He said his
go.
boss's daughter has a school for that. So
Nice.
yeah.
You may want to
So
put that up because that's important. Like, so aside from the joking and whatnot, but like, I feel like it is very important that men and women and children know how to defend themselves physically. Like, if you're in a conflict, it's very important uh, to know how to defend yourself. Like, man, to me, it's hyper underestimated in this culture. We
yeah,
see people doing stupid stuff by shooting people, but if you got control of these things and these things, you know what I mean, and your knees and all that, man, listen, hey, brother, I don't want to fight you. Like,
yeah,
I can really hurt you. Like when you get to that point, I can really hurt you. Like you really just don't understand. Uh, I'm choosing peace because I don't want to break you into pieces. But
right.
whatever. I mean, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
So we're gonna give the rest of these and just so give what it is, and then we're gonna give the example.
For
Um,
sure.
and so we're gonna skip out on the education point, and after that, does that make sense?
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Yeah. All right. So again, gaslighting versus honest conflict. The distinguishing factors: honest disagreements focus on resolving issues. Excuse me. While gaslighting aims to distort reality and shift blame. For example, honest conflict is two partners disagree on spending habits and openly discuss their perspectives. That's healthy. Excuse me again. Jeez. So gaslighting, one partner insists you're just making things up. I never spend that much, even when bank statements prove otherwise. You know what? Eh, it's right here in front of my face, man. Like you can see it too. You can read, right? You see that right there? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just me. I'd be like, but you see it. You know how to read, right? You speak anyway. You speak sign language or something? I don't know. Anyway, that's just me. All right. So all right. So number 12 is historical and political gaslighting. An example is when governments or leaders manipulate facts to control public perception, such as denying historical events or spinning narratives to justify policies. Man, who America is notorious for that one right there. Anyway,
Yep.
mm, Lord, you gonna take slavery out of the history books, but you didn't talk about it in the first place.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna be quiet on that point. Education point. Encourage critical thinking and fact checking
We
to
ain't gonna do
counter
the education
manipulation.
point.
Oh,
So, yeah. So we're
Right.
gonna skip out on the education point, and after that for each one.
Okay.
Um, so
Yeah.
we can get them all in. So you want me to do
Sure.
the next one to
Yeah,
show you
you can
what I
do
mean?
13, even though that's one of my favorite numbers. 13. Yeah.
You want to do it?
Okay, that works for me. All right, psychological defense mechanism. I mean, come on now, we're there. First, we're building resilience techniques such as mindfulness, grounding exercises, non-dual you, and cognitive
What?
reframing to protect against manipulation.
I don't know if y'all as lost as I am, but G- Gina's over there. Mark, he's over here acting like Foster Brooks.
I'm already okay. All right. So, an example is a person recovering from an emotionally abusive relationship practices mindfulness and grounding techniques to reestablish trust in their perspectives. Instead of internalizing gaslighting, they remind themselves, I know what I experienced. I just want to say this real quick. I had
Okay.
to, near the end of that relationship, like I really got back into my meditation every day. I was doing at least just to start 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes before I go to bed. Just because reality was twisted on me so many times, it's like, wait a minute, I know I didn't do that, you know. So that became like the anchor for me to trust my mind again. And then like you talk about manifestations, like because my mind was so tuned in at that time, because I was constantly doing this to stay grounded mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like like my life, things changed drastically, as you know, and um and it just but being aware of my thoughts and my feelings and being clear was the big thing
Hmm. Yeah.
because it was hard in that situation, someone constantly telling you what to think or what to feel, you know. And then if you don't believe or think that, then it's played against you like a sin.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. That's horrible. So empowerment through education is that
Hmm.
okay? So the next one is empowerment through education, community awareness, hosting. Okay, I left something off of there. Um, hosting workshops or discussions on recognizing and addressing gaslighting. So that gives you empowerment through education. So that's just an idea or a tip for somebody, a way to educate. And then an example is organizations hosting public seminars on recognizing manipulative tactics in relationships, workplaces, and society. Schools implementing curricula on critical thinking to combat misfortune and gaslighting. So those are some ways to get some empowerment and to help you through gaslighting.
Yeah, it's very important to find that support system.
You want me to do the next one? You
I
do,
got it.
don't you? Oh, go ahead.
I got it.
You
All right, so
rocking.
yeah, yeah.
I see you.
You know me too well. Stop it. Stop it.
You
I'm gonna do
got it.
this
Oh,
one.
you okay?
I
All right.
got it. No, I'm gonna do this one. You can, you know,
I know
make
you.
no sense. That's my mama right there. My mama, she knows her song. That's the rock. That's the TT rock right there.
You're so silly. Go ahead. No, let
All
me
right,
do
all
it.
right.
You gone before you mess around and
All
go
right, you
ahead.
go ahead, dude. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. So the next one is gaslighting in friendship circles. So tactics. Friends downplaying your concerns or making you feel excluded and overreactive. Don't that hurt and make you mad when people do that to you, make you feel, excluded. And you just overreacting. What the heck is that? all about, you know. But anyway, so here's an example. A friend dismisses another's feelings by saying, "You're overreacting. That didn't happen the way you think." When confronted about exclusion from an event. So over time, the victim may start doubting their own social worth. That's tough. That's a tough one. So we have shared a lot of stuff with you about gaslighting and how it feels, how some of the ways you experience gaslighting. Um, and again, it's so important to get support. It's so important to find ways yourself, you know, for yourself to get through it. We gave you tips on that, journaling, breathing exercises, um, doing some things to help you, affirmations. All of those things are very, very important to do to help you and to help people around you, you know, because when your mental health ain't right, you can't help nobody else, not truly help somebody else. So it's very important to get what you need to help you. I didn't realize we were so close to being done. So now we can share anything. I was just going back over some of the stuff that we've already said, you know, reminding people. So if you want to share anything, any tips or any stories that might help somebody else, or not stories, but experiences, because they ain't stories, they
Right,
experiences.
right. Ah, man. I just think again, it's important to realize, like, even so, and I love, you know, I love the relationship that I'm in now, romantic relationship. We talk about things. You know, we assess. You know, one feels like, you know, it feels a certain feeling or whatever, or a certain thought or whatever. We talk about it. You know, I think it's important. You know, and that means that both people are willing to change, like
Yeah,
willing to grow, willing to be open-minded enough to discuss so that you understand. And that's one of the biggest things that's lacking in all types of relationships, you know,
yeah,
romantic, business-wise, you know, whatever. Like just the desire to understand the person that you're dealing with. Um, and that takes some time just sitting back and listening, like
yeah,
actively. Like a lot of times we in conversations, uh, you know, you listen to respond. It's like you're always on the defense. And really, if you really listen, you're listening to understand. It's not
yeah,
about defending your point
yeah,
or constantly arguing to convince. Because I mean, really, if you think about arguing, and this has been something in my head all day. It, an argument, once you get to the point where you both have spoken your mind about how you feel about the situation, how you see it, and now you both have an understanding of the opposite side of the conversation,
mm-hmm,
then at that point, the argument is now about me trying to convince you that my way is right and
yeah,
your way is wrong.
yeah,
And it really ain't about that.
yeah,
Like that's when our ego gets involved. I gotta be right. Why? Why do you have to be right? We have
yeah,
an understanding. It ain't about right or wrong. I don't have to be the bad guy for you to be the good guy. You did,
right,
or opposite. And that's funny. What my the newest therapist I've been going to, like he got me, he suggested a book for me. It's called No Bad Parts, where you talk about like the difference between genuine, authentic interaction between people and the fractured interpersonal relationships that we deal with in life, period, where
mm-hmm,
everything has to be, you know, I win, you lose.
yeah,
Like everything should be symbiotic and mutually beneficial. You know,
yeah,
if egos are brought down to what it's supposed to be, they're a tool. They're a tool of us to be active in this world that we exist within. However, you know, our soul is the most important thing, and soul wants unity. Soul wants to, you know, connect things and bring back balance.
mm-hmm,
But if I win and you lose, that's not balance. It's
Yeah.
not balance.
As competition.
Yeah, exactly. And
Hmm.
that's not conducive to growth. You- it's always going to be something to fight against.
Yeah.
But if you operate from the standpoint that we all have the same collective goals, and we could drop our egos and our ideologies sometimes and just realize that we all have the same goals in mind and operate from that standpoint, then we could do so much more for the whole because we
Hmm.
individually realize that, hey, I'm not always right
Right.
and I'm not always wrong. You
Right.
know what I mean? And it's a constant thing of just being determined to be cognizant of who I am in this moment and where I want to grow from there.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, I think we get caught up in ego and in the show for the world. I'm not trying to put on the show for you. I ain't got a show to give you. I got a tap dancer and say, hey, how you doing? I got a tap dancer. I'm not, bro. I'm tired right now. I just want to sit down here and watch this fight. I don't want to tap dance right now. Shoot, like man, listen. You know, man, like it's just to me, it's just a lot of what I've been going through. Just helps me like analyze not only outward things, but firstly analyze myself. Like, what is it in me that is projecting this? Because you got to remember, like, you take personal responsibility for everything that happens in your life, then you realize that I allowed this, so I created this in some kind of way. Like that's radical. You know what I mean? In this world where we put everything off on someone else to solve for us.
Yep.
You take radical responsibility for not only your actions, your thoughts, but what is in your life. You look at it like, oh wow, somehow I invited this into my life or I created it. So
Yeah.
maybe I need
That's
to,
big.
yeah, maybe I need to step back and see why. And that's the thing. Everything is a lesson. There's no such thing as losses. No
Right.
losses, only lessons. All L's are lessons, man. And if you look at like philosophers and athletes and things of that nature, they'll tell you they learn more from their losses than they did their wins.
Yeah.
Because the losses means that you have to adjust. You have to adapt to something different. If you want a different result, you got to do different things.
Yep.
So yeah, just yeah,
And figure out how to win. Figure
right,
out, uh, acknowledge, what you did that wasn't good, and
right,
then replace it, in your mind with, okay, so that me doing that move didn't work. So maybe next
right,
time I'll try this move. So
right.
before I forget, Mark said, when you was doing that dance, and he said, not trying to be like Savion Glover.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mark, I do have a grandson, and
Name Savion.
Jean's nephew named Savion, and my daughter named him after Savion Glover.
Right. Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's so important, to look at yourself, and to view your own mistakes, and to so you don't keep making the same mistakes, or the same things that aren't good for you or productive for you, um, to fix those things. If you don't even see those, then you'll
Yep.
just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting
Right.
different results. Insane.
Insanity.
So,
Insanity.
you gotta want to see, the bad, or the mistakes, or the
Right.
losses. You gotta
Right.
want to see those things, so that you can become a better version of yourself.
Right.
So,
And
go ahead.
I want to say this real quick, and I know we gotta go. But man, like what you just said, like takes me down a rabbit hole. I've been listening to Jungian uh,
Hmm.
studies and stuff on YouTube for the last few weeks. Anyway, so the biggest thing is like acknowledging, our shadows.
Yeah.
Acknowledging those things that we don't like about ourselves, or whatever. Uh, Acknowledging those things, and then bring first off acknowledging them. That's the first step to, I mean, we say recovery, but
Yeah.
recovery is recovering something that it was already there. So this is a
Yeah.
part of ourselves that needs to be addressed and brought into our conscious mind so
Yep.
that we can deal with it as a tool as opposed to it being a weakness for us, you
Yeah.
know. And that's the beauty of shadow work. Um, you uncover aspects of yourself and tools and gifts that you've had that you've hidden because of whatever, societal constraints or, being picked on or whatever be the
Yeah.
case. Like
Yeah.
that's another subject, shadow work. Shadow work. Hmm.
I'm gonna look that up and see what I can find.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. I like that. I like that.
So, y'all, this concludes our conversation about gaslighting and our education and tips about gaslighting. If you missed out on our shows, you can go back to all the shows from January to now.
Man.
We did probably 10 shows about gaslighting and giving you different tips about gaslighting. So, we just want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to our show. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to our channels, Love Misunderstood Institute, or Premier Fitness 0210, where you can find exercises, yoga, uh, and stuff on that YouTube channel. So join us again next Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, we send you away with peace, send you away with love. Take care, and bye for now.